Hey guys, this is your host, Michael Terrazas. Thank you for listening to the UnderDog Sports Podcast. If you are a Colts fan, be sure to subscribe to my podcast on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. My podcast is available on all platforms. Also, follow me on Twitter at UnderdogSports4, Facebook, UnderDog Sports Podcast. I hope you guys have a great day, stay blessed, and go Colts. Enjoy the show. Hey, ever thought about making your own podcast? Well, now you can with the Anchor app. Anchor comes with all the tools you need to make your podcast the way you want it. You can edit your shows on any phone or computer. They will distribute your podcast so it can be heard on all podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. And the best part about it, you get paid when people tune in to listen to you talk about any topic you love to talk about. Download the Anchor app today. The 2020 NFL offseason has officially begun. Right after the Chiefs and the 49ers laid it all on the line in Super Bowl 54, after Shakira and J-Lo put on a great performance in the halftime show, everything now is headed toward contract extensions, free agency, draft mode, all of it. Officially off-season time in the NFL. Welcome back to the UnderDog Sports Podcast, guys. We have got a good show in store for you today. I don't know why we're saying we. I have a good show in store for y'all today. You know, there's been some things that are being talked about in the Colts rumor world. There's some intriguing prospects in the draft. What I got in store today, guys, first off, we're going to talk about, what can the Colts take away from the Super Bowl? We're about to talk about that. I'm going to start giving my draft rankings at each position, which is starting today. And yes, today I'm going to be doing the number one position in football, the quarterback position. We're going to be talking about potential free agent fits. We're going to be talking about quite a few things, guys. Quite a few things. Let's go ahead and hop right into it, guys. What can the Colts take away from Super Bowl 54? I was pretty intrigued with this matchup because you saw both teams, they had great defensive lines. Frank Clark has kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. He didn't really do much at all the whole entire season. I'll admit he stepped up a little bit in the postseason, but for a guy that really didn't do much, he does a lot of talking. But I mean, I guess I can say I'd be that cocky if I had Patrick Mahomes too. Now, when I watched this game, when I watched it live, when I went back and watched it again, man, I've come on this podcast and I have kind of, ignored the importance of the quarterback position. I've, shied away from it. I want to say we got to have a complete team. We got to have building blocks. We got to have everything. And when I watched that Super Bowl, oh man, it kind of became a little bit more clear to me. Because the difference between a guy like Patrick Mahomes and a guy like Jimmy G is basically what we saw in the Super Bowl. When Patrick Mahomes needed to make a throw, when he needed to make a play, he made the play. Jimmy G, on the other hand, was primed and ready to win a Super Bowl. He had Emmanuel Sanders, who beat 3 guys on his route. That is a walk-in touchdown. And Jimmy G overthrows the pass. That, when you look at how the 49ers were winning 20-10 entering the fourth quarter, and Patrick Mahomes goes on to scores 21 unanswered points, and albeit, yes, good help from the defense. The quarterback position is just, Patrick Mahomes proved it. He is an all-world talent, but it just goes to show you, if you have an all-world talent in the draft, you got to take him. Joe Burrow is that guy. I don't know about Tua Tagovailoa. I'm a little scared about his injury history. Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. I haven't really gotten comfortable to put Anthony Gordon in that conversation yet. But I tweeted it out earlier this week, and I'm going to say it on this podcast. I see only 2 ways the Colts go. Or 2 or 3 ways the Colts go at number 13. They take a quarterback, or you take a pass rusher, mainly a defensive tackle. Or Chris Ballard trades back. Right now, those are the only options that I see. Because when you look at the Super Bowl, man, Jimmy G was not asked to do a lot. They relied on that run game. They relied on Kyle Shanahan's play calling, sweeps to Deebo Samuel, sneaky good plays, all that stuff. The 49ers pass rush affected Patrick Mahomes for 3 quarters. For 3 quarters, and they built a 20-10 lead. That was in favor of the 49ers. Because with a quarterback like Jimmy G, a 20-10 lead, that could feel like a 1-point lead. Now, if the roles were reversed and the Chiefs had a 20-10 lead, that would feel like a 3-4 touchdown lead to them. Because Jimmy G is not going to beat you by throwing the football. Does he have his good days? Yes, he does. He has his good games. But in the game of the game, the show of shows, Jimmy G cannot get it done. Now, we're not going to talk about how Kyle Shanahan completely forgot how to run the football, but, squandering away another Super Bowl. You saw how the pass rush can affect a quarterback in a big game when you need it to. But then you also saw what happens when you have a average or a little bit above average quarterback. I'll probably name Jimmy Garoppolo an average quarterback. Jacoby Brissett probably a below average quarterback. Jimmy G could not get it done. He stepped on the field, 4 times in the fourth quarter? He mustered nothing. Nothing. Patrick Mahomes scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. You know what that means. Patrick Mahomes scores 3 touchdowns. Jimmy Garoppolo then gets the ball back. He did absolutely nothing. And then, in the fourth quarter, you look at how pass rush started affecting Jimmy Garoppolo, started beating the 49ers offensive line. Chris Jones mainly started batting down those balls, such long arms, to give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes. This Super Bowl said everything that this offseason needs to be. Get your quarterback. Get pass rushers. Because if I'm being honest, guys, the Chiefs' defense is not better than the Colts. But they have a pass rush. They have a great 3-technique defensive tackle. Frank Clark is a good edge rusher. They have guys. I don't in no way think that the Chiefs' defense is better than us. I don't think they are. But they have a pass rush, and they have a quarterback that can go score points. They have a quarterback that can go score points, and they have a guy, an edge rusher, a defensive tackle that can stop the opposing quarterback from scoring points. So yes, I am saying it right now. There is only 2 ways the Colts can go, that I see the Colts can go at number 13. Quarterback, pass rusher. Quarterback, pass rusher. Because Andy Reid and the Chiefs traded up to get Patrick Mahomes. The Texans, they stayed put and got Deshaun Watson. The Kansas City Chiefs traded up to get Patrick Mahomes because they thought he had high potential. Look how that's turning out for them. Now, what about Justin Herbert? What about Jordan Love? Because as much as I would love Javon Kinlaw, I believe a Ross Blacklock, Neville Gallimore, Raekwon Davis, I believe those guys can be there at number 34. It's not a panic yet. But when I compare the Chiefs, the 49ers, or the Colts to the Chiefs or the 49ers, I see where the Colts got it, and I see where the Colts still need work. Here's where I think they need work. Quarterback. Pass rush of any kind. Offensive weapons. Right now, those are the only things I can think of. Other than, of course, if Anthony Costanzo retires, you know, you want to add depth to the cornerback position because you just don't know about Quincy Wilson right now. Marvell Tell, he's promising as a depth piece. But the Colts have the head coach, the offensive play caller. Frank Reich is the guy. You know, I want to say how happy I am for Andy Reid. He has been through a lot of adversity, and this Super Bowl is so well deserved. He has cemented his Hall of Fame legacy. This Super Bowl is the cherry on top. Let me just say that for Andy Reid. Now, the Colts have the offensive line. They have the run game. They have the offensive, guru. What about the secondary? We would hope and wish Malik Hooker is, a bigger name right now in his career, but he's not. But he's still making plays. He's still doing things correctly. Someone came to me and said we need a cornerback one. I'm not going to say we need a cornerback one because I'm not going to, force an injury-riddled season for Pierre Desir that he should get kicked off the team or be benched. I'm not going to put that on him. I mean, everybody was injured this season. Rock Ya-Sin, he had a good rookie season. There were some technique issues, but given the kind of talent he went against this season, he had a productive year. He held his own. In the offseason where I expect him to work on his technique, I trust him. Kenny Moore, look, Chris Ballard called him the best nickel corner in the league. I'm not going to sit there and say we need a starting lockdown caliber corner. No, I'm not going to say that. Because the Chiefs don't have a solid lockdown corner. Brashad Breeland was their best corner? And he was on the free agent market for like 2 years. Now they had a stud at safety, Tyrann Mathieu. I sure hope Kari Willis can be that kind of player. You look at the linebackers, Kansas City's linebacking core is not better than the Colts. Damian Wilson is not better than Anthony Walker. Anthony Hitchens is not better than Darius Leonard. Heck no. That's what I think you can take away. Go get your quarterback, man. Go get your quarterback. See, in October, I wasn't so high on, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, but now a lot can change, guys. Opinions can change, grades can change. Now, Justin Herbert or Jordan Love is looking mighty fine to me. They are. Whether you think Jordan Love is a second-round pick, a third-round pick, or not, You can't deny the potential. You can't. You got to go. You got to take it. Whether you go pass rusher or quarterback. There's plenty of wide receivers in this draft to where you can say, I'll draft one in the second round, third round, fourth round. That's how I see fit. That's how I see fit. So that's where I'm at after the Super Bowl, guys. That's where I'm at. Now, getting into some free agent talk. I know in the last episode I talked about Yannick Ngakoue and another guy named Chris Jones. I am about to talk about Chris Jones and Phillip Rivers. Okay? Sorry, guys. Throat gets a little dry. You got to drink something. After getting done talking about a pass rusher and a quarterback, what's the likelihood of the two free agents I'm about to talk about is a defensive tackle pass rusher and a quarterback. So let me get started with Mr. Phillip Rivers. Ian Rappaport, put out there the Colts and the Colts and Phillip Rivers have a little bit of a connection. He put it out there. I tweeted it out there. And you sit there and you wonder, could Phillip Rivers really come to the Colts? That's literally what you think. Phillip Rivers in a Colts uniform. First off, I just don't know what Phillip Rivers has to offer at this point in his career. I just don't know. I mean, let's talk about his stats this season. 66 completion percentage, 4,615 yards, 8 yards average a throw, 23 touchdowns to 20 interceptions, 88 rating. That's you look at the yards and you say, oh, cool. But when I look at these dang interceptions, no, I would rather want Jacoby Brissett more than I'd want Phillip Rivers. I do not see... Look, would I be surprised if Chris Ballard signs Phillip Rivers? No, because Chris Ballard talked about wanting to get more veteran leadership in here. Phillip Rivers is under that category. I would not put that past him. But right now, I just don't see what Phillip Rivers has to offer this Colts team. Would he give us a better chance? I mean, is Frank Reich a better offensive play caller than the one he had in San Diego? Or LA, rather? Yes. I believe Frank Reich could possibly help Phillip Rivers. I consider Phillip Rivers a better quarterback than Jacoby, but the interceptions, heck no. We already struggled to win games this season. There's the connection between Phillip Rivers and Nick Sirianni from the San Diego days. I see that connection. But other than that, I don't know, guys. Phillip Rivers just turns me off. I just don't like the idea of him putting on the horseshoe. I just don't like the idea. But we got to wait and see how that unfolds. It's still very early February, so we got to wait until about almost another month until free agency. Oh, man. I cannot wait. I can't wait. Speaking of free agency, gonna get into it, man. Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a guy that I want in a Colts uniform so badly. Now, why does the NFL keep pushing back free agency? I have no idea. It is the same thing with the draft. I don't know why they keep pushing this stuff back. Hell, it went from March 6th to March 13th, now to March 18th. I don't get it. I don't know why they keep pushing it back. Same thing with the draft, man. Early April to mid-April to late April. I don't know why do they want to push it back so much? Oh, I just had to do a little venting right there. But, Chris Jones, let's talk about it, man. You know, watching that Super Bowl, when you look at his stat sheet, you don't see much. 1 tackle, no sacks, but you constantly saw him impacting the game. How many did he have? Like 4 batted balls on the last 2 drives? I mean, that is going to help you win games. Chris Jones has always been good at batting the football down. He's always been good at that. I mean, I still remember in the divisional round last year, Andrew Luck had like 3 balls batted from Chris Jones. He was constantly getting in Jimmy Garoppolo's face. He is a game changer. Chris Ballard talked about it. I don't care what the media says about you. If I turn on the tape and I see that you are impacting the outcome, then I am going to sign you. I am going to pay you. How do you not turn on the tape and say Chris Jones is not a game changer? I mean, could you still imagine it? Signing Chris Jones. I still think you have to draft a defensive tackle, but not at 13. Because I think if you do sign Chris Jones, you automatically have to take a quarterback at 13. Or if you want to trade down a few spots and then take Jordan Love, hopefully he's still there, then so do it. Do it. But now, if you get Chris Jones, man, and then you bring in a rookie, maybe someone like Larrell Murchison, Ross Blacklock, Lakey Fotu, Jordan Elliott, Raekwon Williams, bring in guys like that, hell, you creating a monster in the middle. Hell, if you put Neville Gallimore and Chris Jones together, oh my Lord, you talking about no one can run up the middle anymore. No one. Man, guys, I'm getting myself hyped up. I'm getting myself excited, man. Oh, man. But Chris Jones, you know, I'm not going to say there's rumors. No, I'm not going to put that out there. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 weeks or in the next 3 weeks, you're going to start hearing a little bit of interest from the Colts on Chris Jones. Now, are the Chiefs going to franchise tag him? Man, I really hope the Chiefs don't, man. Sign the dude or let him walk, man. I'm so sick of these franchise tags. I just don't like them. I just don't. I just consider it as a team trying to keep you longer so they can trade you. That's what I consider it. You know, as much as I think Dak is not what people try to call him to be, a top 10 quarterback, I still think he's earned his money. As a 4th round quarterback who was not expected to do much, he exceeded a lot of expectations. He's won division titles. Yes, that's not all that important, but it's not so often you win division titles. He's won a couple playoff games. No, I think 1 playoff game. And that's it. I believe he deserves to get paid. Now, for the Cowboys to franchise tag him, for the Chiefs to franchise Chris Jones, no. Because if the Chiefs franchise tag Chris Jones and they want to trade him to the Colts, I'm out. Because I'm not about to give up assets for a guy we literally could have just signed. No, I don't want to do that. So, Chris Jones to the Colts, I'm going to keep beating my chest for it. I'm going to keep trying to bang on the table for it. I'm excited. I hope it can happen. I really do. Now, sticking with free agency on one more guy, Vic Beasley. Defensive end Vic Beasley. He is an intriguing guy. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, their main page just came out and said they're not going to be entering negotiations with Vic Beasley, which means that he will hit the open market. Why the team account put that out there, I have no idea why. I don't know why a reporter couldn't just do that. But Vic Beasley, man. I don't like how he was used in Atlanta. A coverage linebacker. I don't know why he's a coverage linebacker. I just don't understand that part. But as a pure defensive end, he's intriguing, man. He is intriguing. I would be happy with Vic Beasley. Now, do I expect him to start? I mean, if the Colts don't add Jabal Sheard and they don't sign Yannick Ngakoue, then I wouldn't doubt if Vic Beasley would start on the Colts. I don't doubt it, but if we were to sign Vic Beasley, I would want him to be like a package guy. On second and long, third and longs, just get after that quarterback. But man, that's really all I have to say. He was literally just released like 4 or 5 days ago. So there's not really much to talk about, but he is now officially on the open market. And he's another guy to watch for the Colts. So, now that we are done with all of that, who is ready to jump into quarterback rankings that I have my big board for the quarterback position in this year's NFL draft? I'm ready. Hope you're ready. Let's get after it. Now, I have ranked 10 quarterbacks. 10 of them, okay? Starting with, I don't know which way I want to do this. Number 10 to 1 or 1 to 10. Let me start from 10 to 1. So at number 10, from Oklahoma, I got Jalen Hurts. I watched Jalen Hurts quite a bit this season in live games. He, to start out, he showed some good stuff. But when the competition started getting up there, he was just putting on a poor performance. My biggest knack against Jalen Hurts is, man, that dude runs way too damn much. Too damn much. He will not sit and go through his progressions. I haven't watched full games of him, but I've watched a quarter here and there, and that dude just runs way too much for my liking. We had a guy who ran, who didn't want to slide, who wanted to take hits, and he retired way too soon. And I'm not even trying to put him in the same conversation as Andrew Luck, because I don't find Jalen Hurts to be that great of a passer anyway. Being in Lincoln Riley's system really elevated his numbers. But man, I heard he had a good showing at the Senior Bowl. But man, that's just practice. Anyone can sling the ball in practice. When I turn on the tape, I just don't see anything there with Jalen Hurts. I don't see it. I don't see anything with him. I mean, the running, man. Oh my God. Lamar Jackson passed more than him. He just runs way too dang much. And I said the same thing at Alabama. He is not going to win by throwing the football. I'm just not that high on him, man. At number 9, I got Nate Stanley from Iowa. That might be a little surprising to you guys. But Nate Stanley I look at him as that natural pro style quarterback. That kind of quarterback is starting to get a little outdated in the NFL because you're starting to see all kinds of quarterbacks being able to sling it, roll out of the pocket and sling it, run the football. Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. You got these new quarterbacks in the game, and they're starting to bring something new to the league. But do I still see Nate Stanley as a successful quarterback in the league, whether if it's in a backup role or if he can get a shot at a starting position? Sure. I like Nate Stanley. I like him. For the Colts, I don't know. I don't have any doubt that he could be good, but as an overall prospect, I'm not there with it, man. I know some people, especially you Colts fans, I know some of you are high on him, but I just have a little bit of trouble right now getting on that bandwagon. Give me another month when I look at more film, but I just don't. Nah, I don't see him. Now at number 8, from the Bulldogs of Georgia, Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm, man. He's a guy that I did like early in the season. But the more I started to watch his games, man, the more I just started to see a guy who's going to make a living at being a backup quarterback in the league. When it comes to these underrated guys, that we don't look at, it always scares me that Chris Ballard is going to draft him, because we never thought in a million years he would pick Darius Leonard. We didn't think he would pick Tyquan Lewis. We didn't think he'd pick Kamoko Toure. We didn't think that he would pick Grover Stewart from Albany. We didn't think he would. Jake Fromm, like I said, nothing more than a successful backup quarterback. I think he will stay in the league, but I'm just finding a hard time seeing him as a franchise quarterback. Now, maybe a Saints fan, maybe a Chiefs fan will grade this differently, but for us, a quarterback needy team, I just don't see Jake Fromm as the guy. I don't see him as a franchise. I don't. I don't see it. Coming in at number 7, what might be a little bit of surprise to you guys, Steven Montez. I like Steven Montez. No, I do not think he can be a franchise quarterback, but I'd probably put him in the same conversation as Dak Prescott or a Ryan Tannehill. He could be successful. He can make some throws. I don't know, man. Steven Montez, I would consider a little bit of a project to me. There's another guy I like from Chattanooga. Probably not a lot of you have heard about him, but his name is Nick Tiano. He has good zip on a ball. He has good zip. He's got great accuracy. I like his arm. I want to see if he gets any kind of a rise in his draft stock, in the coming months. Because I like him. But still on Steven Montez, I think he could be available in the 5th or 6th round. Now, when you're drafting a quarterback that low, the odds are he's probably not going to be a franchise. Gardner Minshew, he's a good quarterback. He's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars starter. But is he going to be taking you anywhere? I wouldn't go that far, but I like Steven Montez, man. He's a good prospect. Now, maybe the shocker of my big board. But at number 6, guys, at number 6, I have Tua Tagovailoa. Yes, I know what you're saying. I know. What is wrong with this guy? Let me turn this podcast off because he just lost all credibility. Guys, I'm not ranking him. This ranking is not an insult to what I think his talent is. His injury history just scares me. Hip surgery, guys. For a quarterback, hip surgery is a big deal. You literally drop back to pass on that hip. You're scrambling on that hip. You get sacked on that hip. If you're trying to run to the sideline, run out of bounds, and someone pushes you out, you land on that hip. And then he's had ankle stuff going on. This injury history just scares me. And I get it if the Chargers want to take a chance at him, if the Dolphins want to take a chance at him, by all means, go ahead. A lot of people are going to have him as the number 2 or the number 3 rated quarterback. But this injury history, man, to bring into Indianapolis and say, here, you're the franchise, I'm just not okay with that. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not. I'm a little turned off by that. So, guys, I know you're probably shocked by that ranking, but that's just how I see it. That's just how I look at it. Could he be a great quarterback in this league? Of course he can. But I think just taking that risk at 13, Andrew Luck's not walking back through that door. No marquee free agents are going to be on the market still. You can't be fiddling around with an injury-prone prospect. You can't. Coming in at number 5. Now we're getting into the quarterbacks that I really like. Coming in at number 5 from Washington State, Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon is a guy that I like. He played for Mike Leach. Of course, his system, y'all know, they throw the ball around a lot. And, Gardner Minshew found success in this. But I went back and watched Gardner Minshew's tape and compared it to Anthony Gordon. And I still think Anthony Gordon is a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew because his velocity on his passes is better. The strength in his arm is better. The accuracy in his ball is better. The touch in his ball is better. Now, I've said it. His footwork just needs some work. When he gets that down, I think he has the chance to be a star in this league. I personally believe that. I believe that professionally, personally, draft-wise, prospect-wise, I believe he has real potential. Coming in at number 4, Jacob Eason from the Washington Huskies. Some might want to compare Jacob Eason to Anthony Gordon or Jacob Eason to Jordan Love. But you can't deny Jacob Eason's accuracy. You can't. Is his arm as strong as Jordan Love? Probably not. But Jacob Eason has some good accuracy. He could be a good player. He very much well could be. I have no doubt that he just might go in the first round. he's a guy I would like to see in a Colts uniform. He could be a potential franchise guy. You know, I just want to see where he goes, who he's with, what system he's in. Now, at number 3, Jordan Love. You know, guys, the hardest part, you know, I'll mention this later, but at number 3, man, Jordan Love, you know, there was a day where I had Jordan Love behind Jacob Eason and Anthony Gordon. But looking at more of his tape, looking at the Senior Bowl, guys, I think his stock is rising. You know, there was little chance that he would go in the second round, but now it's almost a given he is going to go in the top 15 or 20. That's just how I see it. People can compare Jordan Love to Patrick Mahomes. And I get it. The arm talent, the accuracy, I get it, man. Jordan Love in a Colts uniform, you know, I like it. I'm not going to say too much because I just, there's not much to say. He has the chance to be a star. Maybe a bigger star than Deshaun Watson. Maybe. But in Frank Reich's system, boy, I would be truly excited. Truly excited. At number 2, Justin Herbert. What I was going to say earlier, literally like 2 minutes ago, is what I'm going to say now. The hardest part about making this ranking, the hardest decision was 2 and 3. Justin Herbert versus Jordan Love. Because if you're banking on a guy to be immediately ready, to be ready to start on day 1, you don't need to sit behind anyone. You walk in and take someone's job, or they proclaim you as the franchise. I saw Justin Herbert, okay? With Jordan Love, there's all this talk about him sitting a year. I don't hear that with Justin Herbert. I don't. And I had to put Justin Herbert at 2. Because he's probably on the same level with Jordan Love. Accuracy, arm talent, franchise talent, star potential. There's not too much that I can say about these guys, because I can't say nothing that any of you guys haven't already heard already. I highly doubt Justin Herbert makes it out of the top 10. But if Jordan Love is there on the board at 13, the Colts got to take him. They have to. Either that or a pass rusher, like I said earlier. Now, coming in at number 1. At number 1, guys, I got Kellen Mond. I'm just kidding. Hell no. I got Joe Burrow, of course. Joe Burrow, he is a guy that is going to start day 1. He is going to be proclaimed the franchise on the night the Cincinnati Bengals draft him. Okay? If there was any, I've heard this talk about the Colts should trade everything to go up to number 1. Why are you trading everything? What's wrong with Justin Herbert? What's wrong with Jordan Love? What's wrong with Jacob Eason? Why are you trading 5 first-round picks, 8 second-round picks, Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, and freaking Malik Hooker just to get a quarterback? No. I am not for that. But man, I really hate to think about Joe Burrow in a Colts uniform because I know it's not going to happen. But there's not much I can say on him. Like I've said on Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, his accuracy is second to none. His swagger is just second to none. I'm really intrigued to see how he can help Cincinnati. So, guys, that's my rankings for the quarterback position. All right. Last thing we're going to do is just a few Twitter questions, and then we will call it a day. So, getting to these Twitter questions. Let me see if there's nothing else. Okay. Alrighty. All right. So, the first one from my guy Ryan Thomas. His question is going to be, what are your thoughts on games being played overseas? It's good for fans in England, obviously, but surely it's at the detriment of the U.S. fans who are the mass audience. Thanks for your question, Ryan. Over here in the United States, we're open to London or England games. I'm not sure if England is discussed, but we're open to those games. We're open to the NFL branching out, taking their games to, other countries that don't get to see too much NFL football. The talk of London potentially getting an NFL team, I don't know. Because if the NFL puts a team in London, aren't they going to have to change their league name? Instead of National Football League, put it International Football League. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do. Overseas league, I don't know. Now, if y'all were to get a London team, my choice would probably be Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because I think ever since they started doing this London stuff, I haven't seen a team play in London more than I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, that's what I would say. That's what I would say about it. Next up. What just happened to it? Okay, all right. This one is by Lucas Headley. Saw a tweet about taking Stafford off the Lions. What would be the price in your eyes? Now, I highly doubt you're talking about him being cut and becoming a free agent. But if you are talking about it, then I'm going to say for Matthew Stafford is a franchise quarterback. Let me say this. He is in a horrible franchise for a horrible head coach, a horrible owner, and a horrible team. Detroit has never been relevant. They fail to get talent through the doors. And Matthew Stafford is a guy who I see can be a franchise quarterback for the Colts. If we were to sign him, what the price would be? Oh, probably about $40 million annually. $40 million annually. That's what I would see. Now, if we had to trade for him, I highly believe that it's going to involve the number 13 pick. It's going to involve a couple, it might just cost 2 first-round picks. It might just cost 2 first-round picks for the Colts. That's what my guess would be. If it was to be a trade, 2 first-round picks. Now, to my buddy Indy Scout. If we were to take and hit on a rookie quarterback, a top 10 type of player, would you expect Ballard to invest capital and picks into talent to load the team during the quarterback's rookie contract, or continue his process and build with time? Which would you like to see as well? Well, man, I'll say this on that, continue to build with time. I think we're past building. When you're in year 4, you're no longer of the mindset, oh, let me have time to build this team. Not in the ultimate win now league. Not with an owner like Jim Irsay. If you were in Cincinnati, oh, cool. If you were in Washington, oh, cool. If you were in Jacksonville, oh, cool. But Jim Irsay is not going to have that. I truly believe Chris Ballard has got to cut this, oh, I need time to build. No. You're in year 4. Entering year 4. You are about to take on your 4th free agency, your 4th draft. You need to add stars. Which one I would like to see? Yes. Take a quarterback this draft and build around it. Get your guys set. Add tight end, star receiver, pass rusher, secondary depth, anything. Because this is a very, very important offseason for Chris Ballard. This is probably the biggest offseason of his career. The biggest. I'll say that much. Okay, I'll say that much. I would like to see that one. Take a quarterback, have him, and for 3 years, build around him. That's what I'll say. So, guys, I believe that's going to do it for this episode. There's nothing really to talk about right now. I will be back next week. There's been about a month span where I did 2 episodes a week after one another, but hopefully news starts coming in a lot more. News starts coming in, and I can talk about more stuff. So I'll be back next week, and I hope y'all guys have a blessed week. I hope y'all guys, just continue to love one another, be positive. Blessings are coming our way, and that's really all I have to say, guys. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of the UnderDog Sports Podcast. Stay blessed and have a good day.